Hey everyone, this is Mike and welcome back to XPinionated. I'm joined with my bro Isaac and we're here to talk about some video games. More specifically, we're here to talk about Bungie and the announcement that their newest title, Marathon, has been delayed indefinitely. Yeah, I mean, for anyone who's been following gaming news, this is pretty much not like nothing to be like too surprised about. But it is, it's, but what is surprising is that they took this long to basically announce that, yeah, the game basically isn't ready. And considering how poorly like the alpha test did and the overall public reception, it's surprising that they didn't announce this way sooner. Basically, to lead us more into the details, Isaac has more to say on the matter.
Yeah, so as you just said, Bungie's delays the game indefinitely, and this is coming from their website. Was a quote basically saying that, thank you not only for your passionate feedback around the marathon reveal and the alpha playtest, but also for your patience while we took the time to listen closely and chart our next steps. Through every comment and real time conversation on social media and Discord, your voice has been strong and clear. We've taken this to heart, and we know we need more time to craft Marathon into a game that truly reflects your passion. After much discussion with our dev team, we've made the decision to delay the September 23rd release. Essentially on top of that, this was a game that was actually announced 2 years ago, back in May, which was supposed to be a part of PlayStation Showcase. It was one of the major games. Basically, during around that time, internally there was a build, a marathon that did exist around January 2020. But initially, it was pitched as a different genre of games, and they were still trying to figure out the genre, what to bring into that game. Moving forward onto that, then as 2023 hit around October, massive layoffs, 100 employees were laid off around Bungie. This was around the time where a lot of gamer companies were doing their mass exodus of people being delayed. And then March 24 rolled around. There was basically a game leadership shakeup where Christopher Barrett was replaced by Joe Ziegler, formerly of
Wait, what?
Valorant.
What's that name?
What, Joe Ziegler?
Okay, yeah, okay, gotcha.
We good?
Yeah,
Okay.
just
Yeah. Okay. And there's rumors that were shifting. They were kind of shifting away the focus of the game more into a hero base play. Then during 2025, Marathon didn't appear to be the state of play, which everybody thought. Arguably, it was announced that maybe Marathon would have its own state of play, just to kind of focus on the game. Then once again, April 12th, they finally launched the gameplay trailer and began the closed alpha beta, which we then start to learn more about the type of game and not to really exciting news that was being sent out from the alpha. Then later this year, we heard about the game controversy about stolen assets that were taken from another artist, from an employee that took it from another artist and then implemented it into their game, which later on Bungie had to go on the defense to clean that up and be compensated. Again, this is not new to Bungie because Bungie has been involved in another controversy involving art assets being stolen, and basically it just kind of lead us to this moment right now. So there was a lot of things that were happening with the game of Bungie and stuff like that, and just overall from the trailers that I've saw and the gameplay that I saw, I just thought in today's market space of trying to get games, it just looked like another typical game and shooter game right now. A little bit of Apex Legends feel mixed into it. And I think it's just kind of, unless you have something that is completely unique and different enough that separates yourself from those games, it is just so difficult to kind of break into the first person shooter market unless the gameplay is really fun or there's enough of a difference to it that separates itself from everything else right now in the market. And I think they just had such a long long ladder to climb right now to be any kind of relevance right now into this gaming space that we're dealing with at the moment.
Very much so. The game obviously from like a just like a concept standpoint isn't anything special. It's literally just an extraction shooter mixed with hero shooter like
Elements.
elements, and it and the hero aspect of the game doesn't seem like it's all that interesting, especially when it comes down to just the characters themselves. Like literally nothing about the characters makes me want to learn more about them. They just seem like plastic dolls with the way they're designed, and not in, like in a good way at all. That being said, I like the aesthetic of Marathon, the uses of neon colors, the greens and the blues. I like the way that the environments look from a just a conceptual like idea, but everything else about the game just seems lacking and just unpolished and just uninspired otherwise. And obviously, it's already been mentioned that the stolen art assets. Even more so, in fact, I recently heard that even like the music sound design from the game has also been ripped from someone else. Don't quote me on that, but it was something I heard from another YouTuber. But yeah, like you mentioned, like Bungie has a history ever since after like I believe like Halo ODST that the company has just been like has a history of like stealing assets from others and not giving like giving people their proper due, and it really sucks because it really tarnishes the brand of Bungie and what they have accomplished over the years. And just overall with this game, it feels like this was just rushed to market because they need money desperately after all the money they've been losing over Destiny 2. And since that hasn't been doing numbers like it used to, it really just kind of goes to show you how much this company has fallen. That they really can't keep it together, that they have to pilfer like assets from other like people, not paying them well, and just having to push out such an uninspired game out to market. It just it's upsetting. It's just like to see like a company that had such a high pedigree fall so low. Like what are we doing here at this point, man? Like it's just like
It
it.
gets a little tough right now too, and the fact that Bungie is also under Microsoft's brand right now. Is that or no?
I they're under Sony.
Oh, they're under Sony's brand. Okay, all right,
Yeah,
all right. I thought they
there's
were under Microsoft. You know, I'm
they have
confusing myself because it feels like they own Activision.
yeah they have like
Normally they
Sony.
haven't been a part of Microsoft for a very long time now.
Yeah,
They're yes, they're right. They are under Sony at the moment. But yeah, no, this is a big hit to Sony because Sony was really expecting this to be one of their more marquee games heading into the holiday season. Well, the beginning of September, and then hopefully heading into the holiday season, and to knowing that this is one game that's unfortunately taken off their portfolio is a big disastrous blow. To me, yeah, I just think there were some interesting aesthetics to you said in the game, but overall, I think in terms of just normal gameplay modes, it just felt almost very generic in terms of things that I've already seen up to this point as a game. And I just feel like there were moments that just felt very uninteresting. I think what was the concept of the game too? Like it was supposed to carry some of those looter shooter qualities right next to right next to almost like taking elements from Destiny 2 in terms of
yeah.
collecting loot, but instead of having a game, you would honestly lose all that loot and start over again. So it that concept also kind of like I don't know how everybody's going to be cool with that, knowing that you've worked hours and hours to try to find the most legendary weapons and it all to be gone like instantly, like you have no chance of really saving any of your progress. So I thought that was a bit of a bold concept that I didn't know how gamers were going to sit down and take to it. And again, listen, the bad publicity of stealing art from other people, from stealing other creations to add to your own and not compensating them. Now, Bungie did say they did, but I think there was just so many things that were going up against in such a saturated first-person shooter market that I just looked at the game and was like, I just don't see this thing succeeding.
Yeah, very much so. Like, if the only way this is gonna succeed if it could basically gets a complete overhaul in terms of like gameplay mechanics, in terms of character design, because like I know like a lot of people want to say that like you like the characters don't matter, like what they look like doesn't matter. It really does though, because like a hero shooter, if you're gonna go through the hero shooter angles, then you gotta make the heroes appealing, not just like in gameplay but visuals wise. And if you look at these characters and if they don't like, it's the characters don't look like something anybody wants to be. Like who wants to be like the thief character? The thief. I think the name is like Thief or his cloak. I don't. In fact, I don't even know the names of these characters because they're so uninteresting that you don't really want to remember them. And that's not a good sign for your game. It's just like if you can't make them like memorable, then people aren't gonna remember your game in general. It's just sad. I basically said everything I need to say about the game at this point. It's just like I hope they pull through because like it has. I see the potential of it. Again, I do, and like I said, I do love the aesthetics. I just don't like the character designs. It's just like and the an intrigue of the world, especially with that opening that reveal trailer. It did have some interesting aspects. Seeing the world is like toxic, and that one guy that exploded into like dust in his head. Stuff like that was really cool, and I want to see what that's all about. But again, you got to make an interesting game.
This game is straying far from the original Marathon, I
Yeah,
assume.
from
This is
the
completely
Macintosh,
from the
yes.
days of Macintosh, their first game
Yeah,
that they
it's
ever
just
worked on.
using like
It's
the
just using the
brand.
name and the brand too, which again, when I heard that Marathon was coming out too, like that's a very extinguished brand. It's again one of their first big games that they ever made. So, and in terms of them really changing anything, I don't. I mean, yes, now that the game's now it's not coming out indefinitely. You'd hope there would be some changes, but I don't think I don't know if they can afford to do a complete overhaul in terms of designs or aesthetics, graphics, in terms of money that can be spent. Like you said, this is a company right now not in the best financial status suits under Sony's brand at the moment. So I I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, very much so.